Hello, everybody, and welcome to Defending the Darkness, our D&D podcast where we talk about attacking the darkness. And if you caught last week's episode, it was packed full of all sorts of things and stuff. We'll cover it all today and more. We are unfortunately down a participant. Penelope was not able to be here today. Hopefully
But we do have chair cam.
We do have chair cam. I actually thought about blowing up a blow-up doll and putting a blow-up doll in the chair. I ran out of time. So it could have worked.
You could have went and got like a burrito and just like put it on a plate and just angled it in the chair.
Did TJ ever buy that puppet burrito?
No, he didn't.
That
was so awesome of an idea, though. I was 100% behind that idea when he told me about it. Because he never told me about it in the past. He was like, man, I've got this really cool idea. And I'm like, oh, what is it? He goes, no, I don't want to tell you. And I'm like, oh! And then it was like years later. He's like, I was going to buy a burrito puppet. I'm like, dude! Like, that's amazing.
He showed me concept art and who he was going to buy it from. And I was like, dude, that would be amazing.
Crazy.
That'd have been funny. Oh man,
I think it would have been like $500 or $600 or something for it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a TJ purchase.
It is, but you know that's why we love TJ. He would buy a burrito puppet. So
yes,
Matt. Yeah.
I just rescued my a giant black trash bag full of stuffed animals from being donated, I guess, because they were all my stuffed animals, and my dad thought that they were my nieces, and they've been in the basement for years.
Oh.
I was like, those are mine. I'm keeping those.
Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's do a quick recap of what happened last week, just to get everybody
Good
caught
idea.
up. Also, the episode 11 is now uploaded on YouTube. I spent pretty much all night last night editing and uploading that, and so go check it out. It has the entire 2 weeks worth of Attacking the Darkness on it, so it's a 2 hour and 40-minute video. To recap, the party had sat outside of the Gralhund Villa for quite a while, trying to figure out what to do with the wall, which in itself was hilarious. But after you finally had made a decision to infiltrate, you hopped the wall and encountered I guess you could call him a guardian outside, more or less, who was hiding in the shadows with his mastiffs. After you put down one of the mastiffs and the guardian real quickly, you begin to search around the property. Starting off with the stables. Inside the stables, you encountered some nice chunk of change, actually. 1,000 gold worth of change. And
Ooh, wow, I didn't know it was that much.
Oh yeah, it was. It was 4 250 gold piece bars. So there's 1,000.
Dang,
gold.
we're gonna buy out Rainier in no time.
Well, right now that all of that is in Granite's
My
pouch.
possession.
Yeah, Granite's got all of that in his pouch. But you walked in to a empty room, or at least what you thought was an empty room. And you saw a stable boy sleeping in his bed.
Oh,
Now this is okay. This is where some things happen. Okay, Penelope was outside in the stables area with the horse. This was Granite and Nephromax inside the room with the stable boy. And Nephromax convinced Granite to Gallagher the stable boy's head, in which it wasn't even necessary to roll. And Granite just straight up murdered the stable boy. And that was a huge surprising factor. Now, I will bring this up for one of TJ's talking points. Here's what TJ was going to say. He said, first, I would like to point out that Penelope understands the need for violence and when necessary, won't hesitate to inflict violence. And she also knows that they were infiltrating someone's house and not an enemy fortress, so not everyone was likely to be an enemy combatant. Bad Penelope, seeing Granite kill an innocent. Okay, that's a little weird, TJ. If the way it would have gone like this is if Penelope would have seen Granite kill the stable boy, Penelope actually would have flipped her shit and would have attacked probably Granite or tried to stop him in failing, more or less, because she's a tiny girl versus a monstrous barbarian. So after doing that, this is all if right now Penelope has no idea. But if she would have seen it, she probably would have left the party. So it's super interesting because it goes against her as her character and her person. So she would have either tried to have killed Granite, get killed by Granite, or left, is what TJ said. He said also Penelope is struggling with the fact that they broke into someone's home and the party's first instinct was to start killing. Sure, the enemies turned out to be people also breaking into the house, but with the information the group had, we basically just started killing staff. So Penelope, I say TJ, it's Penelope, is really having issues and struggling with the fact that y'all have broken into the Gralhund Villa and killed people. But we'll see how that goes. There is one thing that I do want to do right quick. Curtis, I need you to go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay.
26. All right, man.
Saving throw is going to be +1, 18.
18. Okay. You barely clear. Had you failed that wisdom saving throw, I would have forced you to change your character status from chaotic neutral to chaotic evil.
Ooh.
For straight murdering a stable boy. You barely, I set the DC at 17 for you to clear.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I rolled a 17.
You are a lucky son of a bitch, man.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I would have forced you to change your character stance because that is straight up murder. Now, your character will need to come to terms with slaughtering a stable boy. Now, however,
I've already got
that
in the works.
However that pans out, that is your business, and we'll play it through on stream. But I did need you to make that saving throw. After a conversation I had, I said, you know what? That is technically pushing towards evil side on that one. So,
well, I've been working on some stuff for Granite behind the scenes anyway, trying to slowly roll him and figure out how to give him some direction. And I think with Matt's little push there, it kind of gave me an idea, and I went along with something that I don't know if Granite would have normally went along with, but he did it anyway. So,
okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to the floor right now for discussion on that front. And hopefully
I would like to specify. Oh, TJ's here in the chat.
Yeah, he's in the chat. I was like, I hope I covered that properly for you, TJ.
I do want to specify that while Nephmerax is happy about the result here, I do want to specify as the player, he did not actually use any abilities, and he did not say you should crush this kid's skull. He just looked at him and said, I know this guy named Gallagher that likes to crush melons. And then he went with it. So while that was Nephmerax's intent,
guiding words.
I'm going to use that as a defense.
Yeah, that was
I was amazed.
I needed some way to push him anyway, and he just kind of helped me out, and gave me the direction. So
There you go. We got character growth here. This is what you're seeing for last episode. Character growth, whether it be good or bad, whether it be inflicted upon because of the death of Zamul or not, we will see in the future. Because that could have also had a great impact on Granite that nobody knows about yet. And me, this is just me speaking outside of it because I don't know anything either.
I thought you were going to say me.
I don't know anything about what he has planned for his character at the moment, so I am in just as much of an excited mood as everybody else is to see where Granite goes from here. So, I will say that I forgot what I was going to say. So, okay. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
There is one thing I want to say, and I think it's just because it's not often a spoken rule in D&D. Like, it's not something people think of or are reminded of. It is possible to do non-lethal damage to someone.
Yes.
And we didn't really even think about doing that when we first jumped over. We were just like, oh, they're attacking us, let's kill them. After we defeated the groundskeeper or whatever it was, I thought, maybe we should have like specified non-lethal damage or something like that to just knock them out.
Somebody did specify non-lethal damage on the dog, on the Mastiff. That they didn't want to kill the Mastiff. Yeah, you didn't want to kill it. You just knocked them out.
That's probably after he thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who initiated combat with the groundskeeper / dogs?
They did. As soon as they saw you land, they attacked.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was self-defense sort of thing, but again, it's like, we're breaking in, so naturally they're gonna, defend their estate in whatever situation this might be. As for Grim, I'm honestly not quite sure how Grim would have reacted to it at this point, just because of the state that he's currently in. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure, I don't think it's really been brought up to any of the other party. I forgot to describe it, but they may have gotten a glimpse of it when I knocked the dog out. But there's something different with Grim than there was the past couple sessions that they've experienced him.
That's true. They have not seen that yet with Grim. Only, and in fact, people who've been watching the show have only seen this through 10.1, our side show side adventure we did.
Yeah.
So
but the death of Zamul actually it completely shifted the way that I was originally going to take Grim, because I was going to go, I think, like Way of the Open Hand or something like that, which focuses more on like redirection and some like light and healing and stuff like that. And after Zamul died and the way that he died and how everything happened, that just completely changed the way that Grim was approaching life at that point.
So good.
I
love the fact that this is happening.
And Grim doesn't know it, and the party doesn't really know it, but that is inherently also the fault of Nephmarax. Because Nephmarax didn't bring anyone else in the party. And though it wasn't exactly his intention, he was the reason why Zamul ended up getting killed.
Don't worry. There are some. Don't take it to think that I was completely unaffected.
Yeah.
By the results of my actions. I am still affected by the results of my actions psychologically. I'm just not showing them. I'm intentionally not showing them.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, and I'm glad to hear that you have that plan for it. But just thinking about it, it's very interesting how, like, because of the death of Zamul, Grim's going down a certain path, and now Nephmarax is kind of influencing Granite, and so it's interesting that it's kind of like Nephrax indirectly influenced Grim and is now a little bit more directly influencing Granite, and I'm curious to see how it keeps carrying on.
I do want to point out something that I've kind of left out over the last few sessions, where I mentioned it originally when it first came up, but I don't think I've mentioned it since, is that ever since the death of Zamul, every night before, like when everybody goes to bed, I'm up and I'm down in the tavern staring at the shield.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
in fact, you and Penelope had a conversation in what we tried to make the first episode of episode 11 when we had technical difficulties. Y'all had a conversation down in the tavern.
yeah, because that was definitely, it's definitely an indicator that not all is all like sunshine and roses in the mind of Nephrax, you know?
He keeps it to himself and hides his emotions really well. Granite is very raw with his emotions. So it's funny that we're just the opposite.
I'd say Grim is probably similar to Nephrax in that he very much, like, he doesn't really express it, but at the same time, he doesn't show anything but a more upbeat persona. Because anytime, you know, anytime Grim is faced with a situation, he's generally very like upbeat or chipper about it. Especially like when dealing with Penelope, he hasn't. The closest he came to like a darkness, like a more morose persona, was during the burial of Zamul's character. But past that, he's always been like more upbeat, more chipper, more like what's the word? Like roguish. Like I'm thinking like Han Solo, where he's got like the one-off like phrases and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
That makes
it's for me. It's being on the DM side right now. It's so interesting to finally watch your character start to actually sprout and go directions, and see all these, because you know I'm privy to a lot of information. Of course, I have to be. So when I start seeing stuff happen and see character growth, I'm like, this is so much fun. I enjoy this so much. And of course, all the other things that are going to be coming in the future too that I have planned is just going to be unbelievably great. But that's in the future. So if anybody else wants to touch on anything in the stable wise, right now the only person, to prevent metagaming, that knows what occurred in the stables with the stable boy is Nephrax and Granite. Whether it stays that way is to be determined. And I'll be very interested to see. Okay. I'm sorry, I was reading the chat for half a second there.
yeah.
There'll be because TJ's in the chat, and I just want to make sure I'm covering if he happens to say something. I want to actually say something about it at the same time, because he was going to be here, but unfortunately wasn't going to be able to. But outside of that, that's what has occurred there. After searching through the house and uncovering dead workers for the manor, y'all eventually decided to walk straight in the front door. Awesome job there, Matt.
Well, I was disguised as the groundskeeper. I figured I could walk in and be all like, "Hey, everybody, what's up?"
Yeah, you walk in the front door and go, "Help, Eldritch Blast." That's literally the turn of events that happened. And it was great. And you shot at two mercenaries that were Zentirum mercenaries that were standing in the hallway, and then combat began. I will say this, with those two characters, that when you popped in and then shot one, I was going for your blood with those characters. Everything that I could do, I wanted to kill you with those characters. And then Granite stopped me from. There's 2 instances that it stopped. I think you were probably down to 5 hit points.
At the lowest, I was 7.
7. Okay, I was off by 2.
Yeah.
Had I not whiffed on, or had I realized that at 1 I had pack tactics, so I should have had advantage on my attacks on you. And then 2, had I not whiffed on my attacks, I could have put you down. But Granite came in, and then with a slightly unpopular ruling, I let him take the damage, because we did talk about this afterwards, and then TJ and I discussed it in greater lengths when we looked it up online, of the opportunity of attack. When you pull a character away, per the letter of the book, it does state that you would not have received an opportunity of attack on your character when Granite pulled you away. Personally, and how we're going to handle, so I will say that I did handle this slightly wrong, but the flavor of the episode ended up being Granite didn't take any hits at all, so it kind of worked out, and it was nice flavoring. But I will say how we'll handle this in the future is there's going to be a strength check involved with this. So if Granite comes up and pulls Nephmarax away, Granite is a huge character versus a normal size character. I think Granite, are you huge?
Yeah, should be.
I think you're huge versus normal size.
Huge versus medium.
I have to
versus
look.
medium.
I think so.
He's 1 size larger than medium,
Right.
whatever that is.
That there's going to be a strength check involved, and depending on the size of the character and the weight of the character is going to result in if it's a successful pull or not, is how I see this working out in the future. And I've discussed this at length with TJ, just because I was trying to
Looks
bounce
like medium is 4 to 8 feet tall.
4 to 8, and
It's 4 to 8, but is it restricted by weight?
60 to 500 pounds.
okay, so you are medium then.
I am technically on the high end of medium then.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
large starts at 8 to 16 feet and 50 to 2,000 pounds.
Okay, so y'all are medium to medium, but in looking at the size of the character, you're like 300. He's like what, a wet napkin? So
Yeah, I think I'm just over 100 pounds.
yeah, the pull is going to be a relatively easy DC to pull him out of the way. Now, if you were trying to have like Nephmarax pull Grim out of the way, then it's like an incredibly hard DC.
Because I'm like a 400-pound turtle.
Right. Because for me, it didn't make sense in just auto succeeding in pulling away on a save like that. So I think after discussing, this is a good way to handle that in the future. Just a general strength check. And the DC
here's a
is
question,
set by
I thought we did a strength check for that.
We did. Well, you did for spinning around.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Here's a question in regards to that. If the player character that is getting pulled either resists or does not resist the pulling, would that alter the DC of the
Yes, because then you're going to be rolling a check against this. Like the player's going to roll a check against the strength check, and then it's going to be a battle between the two.
It should be a test of both strengths.
Right. If it's just
with my -1 modifier, I think I would have won that.
Yeah.
But in for me, if it's going to be an auto fail on the character, like yes, I'm going to accept that. I want to have at least some sort of check to make sure it's successful.
Gotcha.
So that's how I foresee those instances going forward.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was absolutely fine with the way that you ruled it in the moment too, because I think it added more to it than just like, let me yoink you out of danger. It's I think it was a good trade-off, and it's something that Granite, especially as the kind of tanky person he is, would do.
True.
He was willing to take the damage, whether he took it or not. He was willing. So
Yeah.
Those guys, they still couldn't hit you though, and that's another thing. You are a hard son of a gun to hit.
I have a high AC on top of this mountain of hit points that I'm already got, and then
Yeah.
What's your AC?
18. But when I shift, it's 19.
See, you're
Ah.
so hard to hit. My guys, all my little computer or all my NPC generated guys are just like weaklings. So I'm like, oh, can't hit anything.
Yeah, you would think a turtle with a shell that encompasses his whole body that he can hide in would have a higher AC than 17. But I get hit all the time.
But don't you get
17 is actually a really good AC.
Don't you get
Yeah.
+2 to your AC if you go into defense mode though? Like just like pull inside your shell.
+5 if he goes in the shell.
Yeah, I think it's +5 in the
Plus
shell.
five.
Plus
Okay.
5.
Yeah, but I can't do anything inside the shell.
Hey, I see what you did there, Nightly.
Don't take his tankiness for granted.
Uh,
That's so dumb.
I love it. That's awesome.
Oh. So yeah, I was in that situation. That's how we're going to handle the ruling on that. And I definitely was trying to go for your blood, Matt. I wanted you dead with that character because you walked into a room, a squishy, and then attacked, and I'm just like, you must die.
You must die.
And I
it's a
love
+4 to AC, not 5.
4. Okay. I love the fact that your comment was, oh, perfectly 30 feet away. Yeah, what did you expect me to do? Of course I nailed it perfect 30 feet away. I'm not going to give you a free round sometimes.
Well, I don't think I had any movement left. I'm pretty sure I
No.
had considered taking a couple of steps back.
I didn't let you because I let you for your movement. It was you moved into the foyer. Your bonus action was to scream for help, and then your action was Eldritch Blast.
I guess my action could have been a dash, and I could have bounced out, but
You could have walked in and said help, and then ran away. But you had to get that attack in. I respect that. That's why I wanted to kill you. Nonetheless, y'all made mincemeat out of those characters.
I don't think at a single point in that last session did Grim hit with his spear. Every single time I used my spear, I missed.
And
Every
you had
time
to
I
take it away from you.
yeah. And
Yeah.
every time I attacked
Added
with my
one.
claws, I shredded.
That is weird. It's just like you're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when it comes to your hits and attacks. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off.
Yeah. I mean,
when
that's
he's
just
on. He's really on.
That's true.
God.
Yeah.
But
If
Yeah,
he
I
ever
think
gets consistent, if he ever gets on a roll or consistent with that character, I
You
won't
need
have to do
some,
anything to stand there.
You need some bracers that are like +2 to attack rolls or something.
Honestly, I do. I need something that gives me like a little bit more of a bonus because my luck in rolling is terrible. I think I rolled a 4 like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I remember
Here-
that.
Here's what I'd like to see Grim doing. Since he gets multi attacks, I'd like to see him like punch, and then in the middle of a punch, get this guy like feint a little bit, and then try to pick his pocket with those gloves. Pop. Yoop.
I mean, if Daniel would let me swing something like that, where I basically use my second attack to try and pickpocket and feint him with the first punch.
I'd have to let that as a no. You've got a multi attack though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd let you take a second.
Well,
action or
I
try
don't
to
have it
pickpocket.
yet. It's as long as I attack with a weapon or my hands, I can use my bonus action to attack with my
Attack
claws.
again.
Oh yeah, you've got your offhand strike. I think I would allow you to try to do a pickpocket move on an offhand strike. That seems okay.
All
You're
right.
just trying to
But I
steal
do also
somebody's
have
wallet.
flurry of blows, which I think gives me another 1 or 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Let me look real quick.
I think it gives you 1 attack action and then 1 physical strike. So like
another offhand.
your third, yeah, your third. I think your third attack would only trigger if your second attack was actually an attack and not like a dodge or something like that.
As long as I use my attack action, I can then spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it's 3 strikes total.
It'd be fun to give it a shot. Maybe roll it at disadvantage.
I'd be amused. Oh, look, I stole your wallet. Huh?
Oh, my face! Where'd my money go?
You get
Thanks for the coin
4
purse.
coppers. This guy's broke. Oh, so after killing the 2 guys in the front foyer, you made your way upstairs. And that's where we left off last time, where we'll be rolling into more story / combat, maybe? Because you have heard that there was combat
I'm very excited for.
You have heard a lot of combat going on upstairs. And in fact, at the
We're
end
currently...
of it, Grim, you turned into a city watch guard.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're currently out of combat at the moment, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Y'all are not in combat. Y'all are staged at the bottom of the stairs. Grim has changed into a city watch using his city watch guard using his hat of disguise. And Penelope and the rest of y'all are sitting at the bottom of the entrance to the villa over the dead Zentirum soldiers.
Yeah. And the reason why I changed is because at the top of the stairs, while trying to see what was going on, I heard the woman of the household, which I believe is one of the people we're suspicious of, say that she called the city watch.
Oh, you sneaky fucker.
So in an attempt to try and keep us from getting in too much trouble, what I'll end up saying is that I heard the commotion and I stormed in and grabbed a couple of strong-looking characters on the side of the road. Like, you guys just happen to be strolling by for whatever reason, and I'd say...
Oh, God, what is your deception?
Oh, that's a good question.
It is terrible.
No, it's garbage.
I will say this.
-1.
It's
Holy
he
shit.
has terrible deception, but you're probably going to get advantage because of the hat of disguise and the usage of it.
Yeah.
So
that is if it even comes up in question. I mean, it may just be like, oh, thank God the city watch is here, and
we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm super interested for next week, honestly. I cannot wait to let next week roll in.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of little in between character conversations are going to have to be had after this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you will have an opportunity. I will make sure that there's an
I'm going to be
opportunity.
I'm going to be avoiding Granite like the plague.
That's not going to happen.
I know he's coming for me. I don't care, but
It's not that he's going to be coming for you.
There's
something
mean
there
it
to be
like
discussed.
that.
Well, no, there's
Yeah.
going to be something that needs to be discussed
Yeah.
that he had going on previously. So,
All right. Huh?
I mean, it's not like he's just going to be like, "Hey, you want to see what I can do with my hammer?"
Yeah. Hey, put your head down on this table for a second for me, would you?
I think you dropped something right there.
Really? Where?
I see going on in the chat. Yes. Grim has 2 hats of disguise. You should have 2 hats of disguise in your inventory.
Yeah,
You're
you
wearing
literally
one.
handed one to Penelope at one point so she could play with it in the stable,
Yeah.
You do
and
not.
she gave it back.
All the other hats of disguise that were there in that encounter, the paladin took. Well, except for one.
Oh, did he take 5 of them?
I think.
There were 2 that were left.
Yep. Hold on one second. Yeah, Gaston gave his up, but the other hat stayed with Nikiri. Neri took 1.
Gotcha.
Pendergast took 4, and then you took 2. Because I couldn't let
Yeah.
you have 7
Because-
hats of disguise. That's just messed
I mean,
up.
I didn't want 7, but I
You
wanted
tried
at
to
least
take 'em.
5.
You tried to take them, and
Well, I was gonna sell the other ones and be like, hey, I got some money now.
This guy over here trying to fucking break the game already.
I
All right,
He
nobody
gives me
needs to
7
worry
hats.
about disguise spells.
He gives me 7 hats of disguise. What do you expect me to do?
No, you weren't given. You saw,
You brought them to me on a silver platter.
and then I took them away just as easily.
On a silver paladin.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
I'm not awake enough for that.
Hold on one second. Balnor. I kept wanting to say Balfour, and it's Balnor. Again, watch the one shot 10.1 for Grimm's side adventure at the bar. That was really fun. I enjoyed doing that.
That
I think
was really
Balfour
fun.
is from Final Fantasy.
Probably so. There is good a slice of backstory that's there for Penelope in that episode, and
Yep.
hopefully soon I can kind of
That
layer in some more flavors for some other people too. Just start hinting at the
Yeah.
main story.
There was some good development for Grimm in that backstory too.
So,
Which I'm waiting for people to pick up on something, but I'll keep that quiet for now.
Okay.
secrets.
I still got to sit down and read Zamul's journal.
And Cody still needs to get me a backstory.
Yeah.
Cody
Yeah.
doesn't even have a backstory yet.
No.
No.
I didn't even design my character. I wrote my backstory first.
Well, I had two characters that I knew that I wanted to try. One of them was going to be a cleric, and the other one was going to be a monk. And when TJ said he wanted to play a cleric, I said, okay, I'll play a monk. Like, I didn't care which one it was going to be. I just knew, depending on what the party kind of consisted of, I would choose one over the other. So I ended up going with a monk, and I have an idea of kind of how he's written and what his backstory is. I thought I gave you a small one. I thought I had a small one.
I will have to look and see if I got anything. I know I don't have anything in my email.
Yeah,
If it
I
came,
don't
I'll have to
remember
look and see if
where I
came
wrote
through
it.
Discord.
I had like a 4,000 word backstory and shit.
See, mine was really, really simple because I didn't quite know how I wanted to play Grimm just yet. I had a few ideas that were kind of bouncing around, and so that's what I meant by when Zamul died, that's what set Grimm on his path. Is because I was torn between two different choices that I didn't know which one I wanted to make, and when he died, that solidified my decision, and so that's bringing him down a very specific path.
Gotcha.
And for reasons in his backstory and for the type of monk that he is why he's following this sort of thing. And I thought I had written something up and given it to Daniel, but
I'll have to re-look at some of the stuff. I'll look through Discord. It may have came through Discord and it just got lost to time.
it may just be in my head, or I might have written it down in my notes.
Like me last night, maybe I had that entire conversation about a new intro all in my head. So, next week we are going to be looking forward to Attacking the Darkness. Now that we've kind of covered what happened last week, is there anything anybody wants to talk about that we may have just glazed over?
Let's see.
'Cause I know we touched on all the high.
I know
we hit all the fun high points of Murder Hobo Granite and what's a good? I can't.
I mean, we could keep beating that to death, but there's no point right
No,
now.
we'll have to see
Yeah, I
how
think-
that. Oh yeah, Penelope did get a new dog. If she can actually keep the dog by the time that y'all leave the villa. Penelope
Is that
an
the one
animal
that-
collector?
I intimidated.
Yes, it's the one that's being a good dog
Okay.
outside right now.
Nice.
Did I knock out either of the Zentarum guards on the inside? Did I drop either of them to 0? Or was that someone else? Because Lucid said that Penelope noticed Grim siphoning life, but...
Yes, you did it to the dog outside.
Yes.
Was it just the dog? It wasn't anyone inside?
It was just the dog outside. I don't think you...
I think he did it twice, but I don't know who he did it to the second time. I think it might have been the groundskeeper.
No, because I didn't knock out the groundskeeper.
No.
I only knocked out the one dog.
Granite took down the groundskeeper because the groundskeeper tried to run from Granite.
Yeah, I hit him in the back.
But I'm not sure if Penelope did or did not notice, because it wasn't something that I tried to make I didn't personally say out loud, oh hey, this happened. It was just kind of like, oh, I knocked out the dog. And then
Actually,
I realized
you did.
after the session.
Actually, you did say that during the session, yes.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
My memory sucks.
I'll have to pull it up on the VOD for the one that we just upload, or the one that I just uploaded for episode 11, but it should be somewhere around the 45-minute mark, I think. Because y'all moved pretty quickly at the beginning of that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, roll that clip.
I wish I could roll that clip right now. I don't have anything prepared. I guess
Was 11 the last episode?
What it was is because we had a technical difficulty. 11 is technically the last episode. 3 weeks prior, we had technical difficulties with Wirecast, and it was not. We kept dropping audio. So that 40-minute session that we had, what I did is I cut up and took as much of it as I could, and then dropped it in front of last week's session. So that made one solid session.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if that was something that someone would have had to have rolled to see, because when it was in the tavern, it was very apparent what was going on.
Yeah.
But in the fight with the groundskeeper, I only went off against that one dog, and I didn't think anyone else was really around paying attention to me and that one dog. So
I can pull the YouTube video clip and see if I can find it. But I do believe you said that you pulled life from the dog.
All right.
So TJ was saying that he thought I killed the dog because I siphoned the life from it, but the attack specifically states that when you drop something to 0 hit points, you do that. It's not a kill or anything. It's just when it hits 0, you do that whether they're knocked out or killed.
Unconscious.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a guaranteed first death saving throw is a failure or something.
That is an interesting thing to figure out how that would work versus another player if you were to do a PvP thing.
Yeah.
If your
the name of it
well, yeah,
the name of it
Siphon Life, isn't it?
No, it's Touch of Death.
Touch of Death. Okay.
I'll tell you what.
It's called Touch of Death.
With a name like that.
But it specifically says when you reduce a creature within 5 feet of you to 0 hit points, you gain +5 temporary hit points. It's not when you kill one. It's just when they are dropped to 0.
Okay, so
I would say that's a death saving throw.
Well, no. It's the attack that is done that reduces it to 0. That is pulled out for the life. So, if an enemy has 5 HP, and Cody were to attack and do 5 damage, that 5 damage is basically being pulled out of that character and then gifted to him as temporary hit points while that character goes to 0.
Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
Does it say you gain 5 temp hit points or you gain up to 5 temp hit points?
I specifically gain 5 temp hit points.
Okay. Interesting. Then, yeah, I kind of read it the same way Daniel does, where it's like, It's not 5. You're draining the 5 hit points after they reach 0. It's you're draining the 5 hit points to get them to 0.
Yeah, it's part of the attack.
Well, either way, it's 5 hit points no matter what their health is at. So if they're at 10 and I deal 10 damage, I still just get 5.
Right.
It's my wisdom modifier plus my monk level. So as I level up, it gets stronger.
TJ is asking if they stack.
No. Temporary hit points do not stack. You take whatever the highest amount is. So every time I do it, if like there are some spells that give you the ability to pool like a number of hit points, like roll a die and you take that number. So if you have something that gives you 4 temporary hit points and then something else gives you 5, you either keep the 4 or you take the 5 and it replaces the 4.
Gotcha.
But it does not stack, which really sucks because otherwise I could get really high up there in health.
You would be a walking sack of hit points.
All right. Okay, since we're coming close to the end of the episode for Defending the Darkness, let's go ahead and open it up to chat. Let's see if chat has any questions, or if anybody else happens to have a question want to know about characters, curious about something that went on during one of the episodes or the past episodes, or if any of us have any questions. We're going to go ahead and open the floor now. So ask away. And while we're waiting for questions to roll in, I'm trying to think. I was going to say, kind of curious to how. I'm really curious about, and I know we've talked about this a whole lot, how Granite is going to deal with this in the future for smashing that guy's head in. I want to know, but I gotta wait.
It's gonna be the conversation's gonna be had with Nephromax, but it is gonna contribute to Zamul, his death, and how Grant's been handling it. But without giving away too much, I can't really say a whole lot right now.
Big bad evil guy. Okay, TJ asks, how do you feel knowing Nephmarax is our big bad evil guy?
I like that everybody keeps assuming
everybody
that
assumes
I'm
that
the
you're
evil guy. I'm going to be the
Confident.
villain or something.
I feel very confident right now.
You are a very charismatic character, and that's probably why you tend to influence folk.
Yeah, I guess. Like the excitement that was in, I will say this, the excitement that was in the last episode was Matt at Curtis smashing a dude's head. Nephmarax was not sitting in the background while this was happening going,
Yeah,
that was me.
It wasn't him going,
No. You're a tiefling, obviously evil.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But no, that was definitely Matt being really excited about something going down, not Nephmarax. Nephmarax was standing there stoically with like nothing on his face.
Oh, there was something on his face after the head got smashed.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, you
I had
got a
like
little bit of gray matter right there.
Yeah, I had like a tooth in my beard I had to pull out.
Oh.
You straight up cackled? Yeah, Matt was cackling, not Nephmarax.
That is true. He did say in the video that was Matt, not Nephmarax.
Yeah.
Of course, that was pretty funny. So
I was having a great time with that.
It's good time smash. Awesome Mom G. Explain the other group playing on this channel. I've been getting a lot of chatter. Question mark? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I asked what she meant by other groups, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Matt is our big bad evil guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll accept that.
All right, so yes, the whole party will have to find Matt.
Do we host somebody on VG Bits?
No.
Explain the other group playing on this channel. That's interesting.
I don't think.
Someone steal your ID?
Someone
Somebody
named
named
FaZe
FaZe?
or something like that. FaZe is Curtis.
FaZe is Curtis.
Let me just do this. Yeah, that's him. That's FaZe. No, you don't have the stream key. Stream key.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're not streaming.
I don't have anything. I shouldn't have anything uploaded there. Let's see.
Oh, FaZe plays. It's the FaZe plays. The old
Oh,
videos.
those things.
Hey, I miss.
He said
FaZe
with such
plays.
disdain.
I miss FaZe plays, man. Those were good.
Some of them were all right. Some of them were just disastrous and needed to die.
Well, look, it was your first attempt at trying to do Let's Plays. Nobody can fault you for that. It got you comfortable in front of the camera.
That's important.
I mean, I'm comfortable being a class clown. That's not a big deal.
I liked them. I enjoyed them. There's just no time to run them anymore.
Well, it was just so much time and effort having to set up the equipment and then tear it all down after the fact. If it was set up, I think I'd still be doing them.
Yeah, you need a room dedicated for that type of stuff, and not everybody has a room dedicated for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet.
You will see in the future. Okay.
Eventually, when we get our own studio and we go forward to getting everybody working under the same roof at the same time.
Dreams. I love dreams like that. I wish that would happen, honestly. Everybody be local, and then we'd all be under one roof and then making content. But realistically, that's ways away. So until then, we'll just have to continue our D&D campaign.
Well, the more support we get, the faster it happens. So,
Yeah. And with me finishing school soon, I should hopefully have a little bit more time, which I'm going to, in the meantime, fill with trying to stream and do art stuff more. But once I get some certain assets, I will probably be streaming After Effects stuff too.
Ooh.
Trying to get the hang of that.
Nice.
Get back into that fun niche that I was in for a while.
All right. So I don't see any other questions regarding the chat. I will say this though. Just so everybody is aware, we are onboarding a new character into our D&D campaign very, very soon. Nightly is going to be joining us on our Attacking the Darkness podcasts and D&D games. So
hey, Nightly!
everybody look forward to Nightly joining us very soon.
Woo!
It means I got to make a new overlay for the broadcast, but that's okay. I like making overlays. So Nightly will be joining us. She did not join us today because it was short notice, and I honestly didn't expect her to have the time because she was busy today. But she did join us in the chat, so that is exciting that she was able to be here.
Yeah, she gets a little bit of insight for the characters.
Look forward to next week's episode. I am going to try and go ahead and write Nightly in if she's available at that time. Otherwise, it will be the following episode after that. And I guess that's all news for what we have right now. And if there's
TJ says, how does everyone justify bringing a 7th grader into a life or death situation?
Your 7th grader is been in life or death situations nonstop.
It's better than leaving her at the bar.
Yeah, but the characters that she's influencing or around does not know that. We just know of her having some difficulties. I don't think we've been privy to the entire story.
Well, no, you don't have the entire story, but I was, as far as I was aware, that you were told that she had been adventuring for a year. But that's about all that you had been told, is that she had been adventuring, but then she was taken in by Vashira, I think.
I mean, as far as justification goes, we were kind of explicitly told that she wanted to become an adventurer, and we were asked by the Gray Hand,
Yeah.
to basically take her under our wing for the adventuring, so that way she could get some experience with a relatively safe group. And in hindsight, yeah, we might not be that anymore.
That relatively safe group has completely exploded.
Yeah.
Gallagher.
That being said, I don't think we've put Penelope in a situation where she herself has been under a lot of danger. Typically, myself or Granite has put themselves in between her and any danger.
You are correct. In the games that Penelope has been in, where there has been battle, she has not taken a single attack yet. She has... In fact, it was just this last episode she had an opportunity to use her attacks.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
she's rolled real low on initiative. But I mean, that's my justification as Grim, is like Grim grew up knowing adventure, knowing wandering, knowing that sort of thing. So to him, it's just like any other thing. Any kid who's out there doing any type of venturing, at least Grim knows that she is relatively safe with them, and he would rather put himself between her and a blade. So knowing that this is what she wants and what they were asked to do, as long as he can keep her safe, then he's okay with that.
Okay. Well, alrighty, guys. I guess that's going to go ahead and do it for Defending the Darkness this week. Be sure to tune
All right.
in next week for Attacking the Darkness episode 12, where we will find out what's going on with the Gralhund Manor, where the Nimblewright is, maybe, and what happens possibly with Granite in his head-smashing fun. We will find out next time on Attacking the Darkness. This has been episode 2, Defending the Darkness. Everybody, thank you so much for joining in and watching us this week. Guys, thank you for taking the time out of your day and joining me to put the show on.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. And TJ probably could have
Oh,
joined.
damn it. Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's all right. We will see you next week. So good. Have a good afternoon, everybody, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.